Hey, sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. This is episode 5 of my weekly video series in which I choose my top 5 favorite baseball cards of a particular player. Now, at the end of last week's video, I spun the wheel and it chose Roy Campanella. Now, to pick the 5 favorite cards, I went with PSA's basic set registry, which only consists of 11 cards of Roy Campanella. Of course, he had a shortened career because of his car accident. Now, here's where I want all of you to participate as well. In the description of this video, I will have a link to PSA's basic set registry for Roy Campanella and his 11 cards that make up that registry set. And there will be links to images of those 11 cards. So in the comments of this video, I want you to let me know which are your top 5 most favorite Roy Campanella cards and order them with number 1 being your most favorite Roy Campanella card and number 5 your 5th favorite Roy Campanella card. And then in next week's video, I'll do a compilation and let you know what all of you think are your top 5 Roy Campanella cards. Now, before I get to my top 5 Roy Campanella cards, I'm going to do a summary from your votes of last week's video in which I chose my top 5 Bob Feller cards. Then I'll get into my top 5 Roy Campanella cards, and then I'll show my one and only Roy Campanella card that I have in my collection, and then we'll spin the wheel to see which player I'll be focusing on for next week. There were 16 of you who responded in last week's video, letting me know which are your top 5 Bob Feller cards. And here are the top 5 vote getters. Tied for first place with 13 votes, we have his 1950 Bowman card and his 1952 Topps card. Then there were 12 votes for his 1951 Bowman card, 10 votes for his 1953 Topps card, and finally 7 votes for his 1956 card. Now, there were 2 cards that didn't garner any votes. One was his 1948 Bowman card, and the other was his 1938 Gowdy card. Now, there were 2 versions of his 1938 Gowdy card. There's the plain one without any squibbles, and then there's the squibble version. It was not clear in terms of the voting. A lot of you just mentioned his 1938 Gowdy card, so I assumed it was the squibble version. So without any specific notations, I didn't feel that there were any votes for his plain 1938 Gowdy card. All right, so of the top 5 vote getters, let's see how you ranked these top 5 cards, and I'll see how it compares to what I voted for. All right, at number 5, you listed his 1951 Bowman card. I also had that as my 5th favorite card. At number 4 was his 1950 Bowman card. I had that as number 3. In 3rd, you had his 1952 Topps card. I listed that as my 4th favorite. Then in 2nd place, you had his 1956 Topps card. I did not have that in my top 5, although it was probably at number 6 on my list and very well could have been at number 5. And at number 1, I think it's a general consensus, his 1953 Topps card is your favorite Bob Feller card as well as mine. All right, let's get into the Roy Campanella cards. As I mentioned, I'll be working off his PSA basic set registry, which only consists of 11 cards, and they contain his 1949 Bowman card all the way up to his 1957 Topps card. So at my number 5 favorite Roy Campanella card, I chose his 1957 Topps card. Not only is it his last playing days card, but it is one of the few cards that actually show an actual image of Roy Campanella as opposed to a artist's rendering of his picture on the card. And just like the simple, clean design of the 1957 top set, basically it showcases the image of the player. Not a lot to take away from your focus of that. Just a nice clean design and a great image there of Roy Campanella. At my number 4 favorite Roy Campanella cards, I chose his 1956 Topps card. Again, you can hardly go wrong with the 1956 top set or even the 1955 top set. I think the 56 top set is extremely popular with a lot of vintage collectors. Great action shot there of looks like Campanella sliding. Actually, he's not the catcher in this image. Looks like he's the one sliding into home. And of course, that portrait shot of him is just fantastic. At number 3, I chose his 1953 Bowman color card. Just look at that image of Campy, that close-up shot, just the colors, the focus he has. I know it's just a staged, image there, but his Brooklyn cap, you got the stadium in the background, the long, blue sleeve shirt underneath his uniform just makes for a gorgeous card. At number 2, I chose his 1951 Bowman card. I hate to use the word iconic, but this is the sort of like a famous pose of Roy Campanella there, throwing off his catcher's mask. I know it's like a staged image again, but just you see the stadium in the background. And in fact, I like this card so much. This is one of the cards I have on my 100 cards for $100,000 list that hopefully one day I will obtain. And at number 1, which I have a feeling may be the general consensus for the most favorite Roy Campanella card, but we'll see. I chose his 1953 Topps card. I don't know how you can go wrong with this Roy Campanella card. Just that smile that he has there, the colors on that card, that red background, offset with the black sort of border down there with his name, the position catcher and Brooklyn Dodgers in yellow. You have the Dodgers, the diamond logo there. And again, just his overall image, that smile, the artist rendition of the photograph of Roy Campanella just makes for one beautiful looking card. Okay, this is going to be a quick part of the video because, as I mentioned, I only have one Roy Campanella card in my collection, and it's none of the ones that are on his PSA set registry. It's a card I picked up at the 2023 National. Was looking for just a couple Hall of Fame cards. I just had a little bit of money left in my budget and came across this beauty, the 1961 Topps MVP subset, and just fell in love with it. I think personally, out of all the different MVP subsets that are found in the 50s to 60s top sets, I like the 61 MVP set the best. It's just sort of like a little diamond cut there, portrait for most cases for these MVPs. And I believe all the American League players have a red background and the National League players have a blue background. But just a great image of Campanella there. And for the most part, that blue background is nice and solid, nice and crisp, well centered. That's what really got me. I mean, that thing has great centering. Here is the back of it. Back maybe not so much, but still, you can read the little information they have there for Roy Campanella. So 51, 53. and 55. Well, it says 51 and 53. So I forget. I think it was maybe just 1951, 1953, and 1955 National League Most Valuable Player. So yeah, this one I think cost me, if I had my numbers correct, it was just $30 I picked this up for. So really glad that I do have a Roy Campanella card in my collection. Again, I really want to get his 1951 Bowman card that's on that 100 card list of mine. And of course, you know, obviously at some point pick up more than that for Roy Campanella. What a great player. And of course, a tragic end to his playing career. But yep, so here is my one and only Roy Campanella card. All right, so the next thing here is I'm going to turn things over to the Wheel of Names. I'm going to spin it and see which player I'm going to be focusing on for next week. Okay, here are the remaining names on the wheel. So I'm going to spin it here and see which player comes up. All right, the focus for next week's video is going to be, Brooks Robinson. Okay, Brooks has a lot of cards in his, it's going to be his basic Topps registry set. I'll have to see how many cards in total are in that. But I know that's going to be a tough choice to narrow it down to 5, just like it's been for all the other players so far in this series. Now, again, don't forget, check out the link in the description of this video to Roy Campanella's PSA Basic Set Registry, and let me know in the comments which are your 5 favorite Roy Campanella cards. And with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.